Hi all, Hipper here. It's been a while since I've been taking out well, one of my favorite cruisers here, the Atago. And this is the cruiser I originally developed my Agile build on with pretty much this build here with Mikawa. In the meantime, I switched Fraser, the original first inspiration, with Azure Lane Baltimore when she became available a few months ago. And that has really upped the performance of the ship a lot. Now I haven't really been taking this ship out a lot lately because, and I'm a little bit embarrassed to say this, but I actually starting to like Albemarle even more. So there's just more situations that Albemarle does well in where Atago struggles. Namely the fact that to get all its firepower on the target, meaning to win any DPM duel, you will have to show broadside in Atago. And of course that's risky. It's less risky with an agile build because you can just turn and wiggle, so you don't show broadside more than absolutely necessary. But it is a risky proposition, and it is also part of what makes the ship fun. But to be honest, Albemarle is just it's just a better cruiser. Especially, I mean, it's got radar, so already there, Atago is at a disadvantage. So here we just turn here again, so avoid shells there with the agile build. Atago is still a lot of fun to play. One of the most enjoyable cruisers in the game, in my opinion, alongside with Prince Eugen and of course Albemarle. I always have a good time taking these ships out, and even if I lose and my team is a bunch of potatoes, it doesn't really matter. I have fun, and winning or losing, yeah, it doesn't really matter that much to me in this game here. Now, naturally, I prefer winning, but if winning comes at the expense of playing a ship I don't like, then I am not going to play that ship, and that's just the way it is. There are ships in the game that are better than others at certain things, and of course there are ships who that like excel at something that simply just happens more often in the game. Like for example, Wichita has a radar, so of course it excels at killing destroyers, and pretty much every game you will have the opportunity to kill a destroyer, while for example torping a battleship in Atago, it's more of a situational thing that maybe happens 1 in 10 battles. Obviously that's what Atago is really good at, and Wichita is pretty horrible at because it doesn't have torps. Now, unlike most other people that I've seen, I don't run the Azure Lane Atago commander, because I really don't have a problem with setting fires in the ship here. On average, I get like 10% fires from every hit, and that's also what I get in this game here. And I mean that's enough for me. Sure, you can get more, but do you really need it? Like here, I'm trying to set as many fires as I can on this Richelieu here, and like I don't really want. Well, of course, I would like more fire starting capability, but it's not super necessary. And if that means giving up 10% of my health or whatever it is that the Azure Lane Atago commander does, then nah, no thank you. I'm not going to do that. And at the same time giving up my agile build, that would just make it, that would make Atago a boring ship, and I wouldn't play it again. So yeah, really pretty easy reasoning here for me. Now in this game I did have a good spawn full of like pretty aggressive battleships that are just, well, Atago's bread and butter pretty much. In this ship, if you start at a spawn where you're facing other cruisers, and like especially like powerful AP cruisers like Wichita or Cleveland or something like that. Well, Cleveland is more a threat because of the high rate of fire. Because like I said before, to be able to win a DPM battle in Atago, you need to be able to get all your guns on target. And Cleveland, for example, and also Wichita, like their reload is so fast that if the enemy player staggers his shots, meaning that he doesn't fire all his guns at once, but instead fires like a battery every 4 seconds, you will never be able to get Atago full broadside because you'll be citadel then. You do need that like 7-8 seconds to perform the whole maneuver and then bring your citadel in line again afterwards. So it's a fun and challenging ship to play, but pushing is not like what Atago does best. It does it better than Mogami by a long shot, because at least it has forward-facing torpedoes, so you will be able to head in like if you have to in a pinch. And obviously it also has better deck armor, and that really helps a lot, both up close and when you're kiting or like shooting from far away, and huge battleship shells fall everywhere. And if they hit your deck, you are usually safe. That is a huge advantage. Now the problem with pushing in Atago is, like I said a few times in this video here, that you need all your guns on the target to really take them out fast enough. If you only use your bow guns, you're only using 4 guns out of your 10 guns, and that's only 40%, and it's simply just not enough. And in the beginning here, I would have loved to raced in and taken out that destroyer that was in the cap, but there were simply too many battleships. So if I had continued in there and then taken on the destroyer with a broadside salvo, I would have exposed my citadel to all the battleships, and I would have been sent back to port pretty much immediately, I'm sure. So like a cruiser like Wichita, or well, pretty much any other cruiser except Mogami, would do a better job of taking out a destroyer that has a lot of backup. Like in Atago, you need to be a little bit more sneaky and set up the situation a little bit better. You cannot just rush in. Well, you can, but that's going to be a one-way ticket. And of course you can do that if the situation calls for it. You do have 16 very, very powerful torpedoes, and unlike Mogami, like I said before, Atago can actually fire them forwards. And back when Atago was a relatively new ship, I surprised a lot of battleship players by simply firing torps from the front of the ship. I assume they were just used to Mogami not being able to do that. That lasted for about 6 to 8 months, just about until the Italian nation came into the game, I think. Then most players had smarted up, and like these days it's very rare to see a battleship charge any cruiser, and especially Atago or Prince Eugen, or any of the really dangerous torpedo cruisers. I mean, that's a good thing. It means that the player base has smartened up, and on that aspect there are other areas where definitely they could use a little bit more guidance. But I'm not complaining, just saying that it's moving forward. And I will say, I was playing games yesterday and I had absolutely terrible teams. Very bad teams. And it's been a long time since I've had a frustrating day like that. Of course you have losses that shouldn't have been losses, and you have potatoes on your team, and I mean that's just the way it is. That's the same with any multiplayer game. But I will say that those really frustrating days where nothing really works out, they don't happen as often anymore. And of course, on the other hand, you also don't get as many barn burner games, like I said before, because people have smartened up. Alright, so we are nearing the end of this battle here, and I will also say that there were no legendaries in this battle here. And when that happens, Atago has a massive advantage. Especially since there's no Yamatos around. And there was actually a key in this battle here, which is quite a nasty adversary to face in Atago, and the same with Amaji. The Japanese battleships are the worst battleships to face in this cruiser, I think. And one of the best battleships to face is Chambard or Richelieu or something like that. But anyway, that wasn't the point here. So anyway, here we get a nice AFK Mars, and got a nice broadside on him there, but for some reason didn't take him out. I was expecting at least 2/3 of his health to be gone, and, but it's alright. So we give him another one, and even that one doesn't do it. So I miss out on that kill there, and you do that a lot in Atago because of the long reload in situations like this. You can just look at your victim and then wait for that 15-second reload. And of course that doesn't happen in cruisers with fast reload like Brigitte or Charles Martel or Albemarle for that matter. And which is why you tend to get a higher kill count in those ships. So anyway, that was a 180k battle in Atago here, and it's been a while since I played that ship. So I hope you enjoyed this battle here, and I'll see you